Hello and welcome to episode 8 of our series The Bottom Line, brought to you by Telecom TV and sponsored by IBM. In this programme, we look at the smart consumer. Today's consumers are smarter, better interconnected and more empowered than ever before. They're placing ever more stringent and immediate demands on providers of products and services. Providers have to get it right first time or risk losing the customer. This massively increased consumer confidence has been brought about by new technologies allowing individuals to access huge amounts of information about retailers, communities, medical services and so on. Smarter consumers know more than ever about what they want, when they want it, how they want it and who they want it from. Plus they are using the likes of television and mobile devices to enable the digital lifestyle. That's everything from shopping, working, socialising and accessing community services, all by using the capabilities of their personal electronic devices.
Consumers are not dissatisfied with their operators. They're not dissatisfied with the kinds of things they're doing today, which is voice and messaging, other things like that. But when you look forward, perhaps 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, to the sorts of new, smart, interesting services that are on offer, or will be on offer, what fascinated us was that consumers are not necessarily looking to their mobile operators to deliver those services. There are other people in the game already on the internet, and consumers are starting to think perhaps they are more appropriate than the operators themselves.
The consumer now is really in control of the services that they want to get, and so the telco in the past has tried to offer services to consumers. They tend to have been not very well received because they're not very innovative, so they've gone round the side or over the top, if you like, to get them from other sources. And the question is, what does the telco do in this world where the consumer can get what they want from elsewhere? That's quite a big shift for the telcos to think about, but it's probably the most important, or one of the most important strategic shifts in terms of its relationship with its consumers.
People are starting to use apps as a way to get content now, and you can then personalise that environment. And it's the same with using social networks, the Facebooks of this world, the MySpace. These are starting to become closed environments. It's not the open web anymore. And you can then start monetising that knowledge of that customer, whether it be through advertising or other means.
Content and service providers have to consolidate their infrastructure to provide accurate information and use analytics to develop personalised offerings to enhance consumer loyalty. In their turn, CSPs are looking to provide innovative lifestyle services to help consumers to be smarter. As the smarter planet continues to expand and mature, many smart solutions are already either in place, in trial or on the drawing board.
So over here I'm going to share with you how you're able to visit the doctor while at home. So through this e-health system, you're actually able to visit the doctor at your own comfort zone at home. So here you can actually see the doctor at the other side in his office in high definition. So the doctor over at the other side also can see you in a high definition quality video. So the doctor over at the other side can actually check out like how well you're doing, and he or she can actually zoom into your eyes or even your tongue to see if you have a sore eye or you have a bad sore throat or everything. Yeah, and even with devices like a body temperature thermometer, you can actually strap on and connect to your computer, and actually can check out what's your body temperature. The doctor over the other side can also see your medical history and your allergies, and this is actually very useful for disabled patients or patients that are not able to move around, like the elderlies or patients living in the rural areas.
However, many other smarter solutions have yet to be delivered, and thanks to smarter technology, we are limited in their provision more by a lack of imagination than the absence of technological ability to provide them. In other words, it's more about connecting with the consumer than the absence of connectivity. The consumer relationship is key.
Information and insight about the customer is absolutely key to being able to give the good customer experience. You've got to know what your customer wants to see, what they want to consume, how they're consuming it, what they're willing to pay for, what they aren't willing to pay for, and being able to take that kind of analytical information and play it back into the business to allow you to make key decisions for what you're going to do with your content, how you're intending to monetize it, is absolutely fundamental.
They understand the location of the consumer, they understand the content or the context aware of that user. And they need to figure out how to monetize that content that's flowing over their facilities, whether they're wireless facilities or wireline facilities. For example, if I want to go to a party or function and I let my colleagues, my business colleagues know and my family, I can enter it into my smartphone and automatically update everyone else's calendar for a more personalized service. And the operators can enable that service if they have the right technology.
Telcos need to rethink their role in terms of supporting consumers. Certainly they will be delivering services, telco services to them, but we think that the big opportunity is for them to help the consumer take advantage of all the data that flows about them across their networks, so the consumer can have better services from all over the place. And the opportunity for the telco is to act as the custodian of that consumer data and help the consumer get far better services.
In a world where increasingly we are becoming concerned about who's got our personal information, who knows where we are, I think the operators have got almost a unique position there. For a kind of company that's only really existed for, well, not 20 years, to go to being so trusted is extraordinary. That's where the consumers recognise that the operator may well have a very strong case.
Cleverer, smarter CSPs are leveraging this wealth of information to meet consumers' demands for new services. So, how are operators and CSPs innovating?
When I talk about smart, I'm talking about intelligence, I'm talking about efficiency, I'm talking about value from a relevant point of view. That's what makes it smart. It's a technology, it's an efficiency, it's a way of doing things, but it has to be relevant above all to our subscribers.
So, what's the bottom line to take away from this episode? Well, with technology now a given, smart consumers are, for the first time in history, deciding themselves what products and services they want. They're in the driving seat. No longer can providers simply dictate consumer behaviour. The old take it or leave it approach has gone, and gone for good. And that's an opportunity for telco service providers to carve out a new role for themselves by enabling other service, product and content providers to deliver what the new smart consumers want and when they want it.
Service providers have probes that collect data from the network, but a lot of that information today is not used to gain information about individual customers. It's used instead to get information on the performance of the network as a whole. So you can use the probes as the instrumentation source, get that information to a platform that is able to parse it and look on a customer-specific level to capture information about specific customers' experience of their services, so the customers have a better services experience and a better servicing experience from the telco service providers. And in terms of the whole service innovation area, again, the smarter technologies enable them to find out for new services that are being rolled out, what is the receptivity of those services, how successful are they being, and that helps them to better drive the top line, the revenue line for their businesses.